Welcome, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the Geek Space. Hi. Hey. This is GeekSpaceTV presents Night Witches, Toil and Trouble, an RPG by Jason Morningstar from Bully Pulpit Games about Soviet airwomen in World War II using World War I era planes to bomb Nazis. And we are so happy to have you here. It is episode 4, and we have a lot to go on today. I want to say something about the Geek Space. This place that we're at right now here on Twitch is a nonprofit that is based out of Seattle that has as its mission making geek spaces representative and diverse and welcoming and warm. And in support of that, this space has a number of programming, TTRPGs, as well as other sorts of shows, art shows, a number of things. At the moment, we have Inklings with Sour Fruit Junkie on Mondays. We have Worlds Beyond, an RPG. Inklings is an art show. Wednesdays, we have Worlds Beyond, which is an RPG show run by Random Tuesday. On Thursday, we have Behind the Screens. I think this is our last one coming up, perhaps. And then on Saturdays, we have Night Witches. We also have a Discord where you can hang out with us and chat and sometimes get answers to questions, but also just be with a great community. What can you do to help us and support us? The first thing you can do and the best thing you can do is be here and watch our stuff. We're here for you, and we enjoy performing for you. So thank you for being here, and thank you for chatting. You can also, if you like, share the stream, tweet out so that other people can see the fabulousness that we have here. You can subscribe if you like. There's a subscribe button probably that way. It's up there. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. You can also join our Patreon if you like. You can give tips or bits. At the moment, a lot of the people who are giving tips are doing so in the form of poetry. Some of it Russian, some of it limericks. Russian-style limericks? You may do as you will. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. And I would like to, it is my great honor to have each of our amazing cast members introduce themselves because they are phenomenal. And I would like to start with the upper left. This way, the upper left. I've got to reverse it. Actually, I think that, you know what? We're in the wrong spots, everyone. We'll take care of it over the credits. It'll be fine.
Mac, I'm Nick today. That's fine.
Yeah, you're Nick today. We'll do it during the credits. Credit sequence. Mac, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what you do, and where we can find you.
Hey, I am Mac Beauvais. I am an actor, gamer, kind of this and that. You can find me pretty much everywhere online as @StrangeCat. And find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. You can also tune in and watch me every Monday over at the Happy Jacks RPG as well, either playing Star Trek or playing Dragon Heist.
Oh, amazing Dragon Hoist. And then let's go next alphabetically with Maggie.
Oh, hey. You can find me at Margaret Crone, all of the places. I believe it says it down there. I do things on the internet, so if you're interested in some of those things, you can come check them out. Lots of streaming stuff. Right now, primarily just a lot of tabletop RPG action, but hopefully I can come back and be strong with all of my other stuff soon. Soon, TM. And then, of course, I work for a game company, so if you're interested in video games, maybe I got something for you.
All right. So take it away, Rockette Fox.
I am Fox, and I am a performer, woman of many hats. But I also help run a nonprofit called Superheroines, etc. And our mission is to empower women to embrace their inner nerd. So you can find out anything about us by visiting our website at superheroinesetc.org. And you can find me anywhere that you look up Rockette Fox. I will likely be there.
And also, how about Shell Game? Tell us something about yourself.
Hi, I'm Shell Game. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram at The Shell Game. I perform here in the Seattle area, and both on GeekSpaceTV on Worlds Beyond, as well as here, and down in Pike Place Market at Unexpected Productions.
Excellent. And I am Trooper SJP. I am your game moderator, and you can find me at Trooper SJP on Twitch or Academic Foxhole on Twitter. And I'm just a, general nerd like the rest of this crew. So thank you all for being here. We're going to hit the title credits, and when we come back, we will start episode 4 of Night Witches. Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone had a lovely title sequence, and welcome to episode 4 of Night Witches, Toil, and Trouble. As a matter of fact, I wanted to give our cast just a little bit more volume. There we go. Hi, everyone. So, welcome to episode 4. I would love for everyone here to introduce their characters. If you could say who you are, who your character is, and tell me something about your character. And let's start with the upper left, because this is now it's actually happening. Let's start with Mac.
Hey guys, again, I'm Mac Beauvais. I am playing Nikita Nick Volkova. She is kind of a wiry, roguish type with short auburn cropped hair and a lot of freckles. And she just got a new knife she's very excited about. Or maybe popping tires on trucks if people are horrible to her.
Because she's a hooligan. That's fine. Maggie, tell us about your character.
I play Irina Alberg. She is the youngest child of a family of 7, of children of 7, I should say. So she's kind of that little spoiled brat. She's loud and boisterous, and she's just kind of this big, obnoxious person. She is pretty, like, I guess you'd say like a muscular, tall, kind of body look. And she's got like short, brown, fuzzy, frizzy, curly hair that's just a train wreck. That's pretty much like my hair. And like blue eyes. And she, even when she's trying to be serious, like, you can just tell that she's got more going on in there than you probably think. And I just want to say that fan art that we got, I think Void made, is just amazing. And it's like pretty spot on.
Oh,
love it.
And if I remember correctly, Nick is a misanthrope. And when you change duty stations, and we are now on a new duty station, you can change your role. And so Nick is a raven and also a misanthrope, and is still a misanthrope. And our Irena is a Pigeon, and is an adventurer and is still an adventurer. And our third member of the crew, Fox.
Hey everyone, again, I am Rocket Fox, and my character is Titania Petrova. She is the leader of this ragtag bunch of wonderful human beings, and she's very, buttoned up. She has like this sharp, short black bob, always very like polished, and she is trying to finish training on navigation for reasons, pertain mostly to the RNG of the dice. But aside from that, and then the character is an owl and was the leader role before and has switched to dreamer.
We can think about what does it mean that now you're sort of thinking more about dreams. And the last member of our crew, Shell Game.
Play Yasminova. She goes by Lena to her friends, but she's particularly bad about handling any sort of like difficult interpersonal conversations or interrogations or any of those things. I think the best time that she handled it was when she was so hungover she wasn't really sure what was going on. I feel like that was definitely the best time she's ever handled something like that. And she's a hawk, and I switched over to protector, which makes a lot more sense, I think, for where Elena's at right now.
And also, I just want to put out there just some status updates for everyone. Currently, all of their planes are in good shape. They're at a brand new duty station. Things are going well. Nick, Anastasia, and Titania all have one harm because they all have to do extra training, which stresses them out. And also Anastasia has some light food poisoning because her stomach's a little delicate, and she ate some food that did not agree with her. Everyone else ate the same food, but her stomach is more delicate than everyone else. I also want to point out we have 2 marks that are hanging to yet to be fulfilled. Titania has still yet to take a friend or a lover, and Lena needs to reveal a painful truth about herself. And I am imagining some of these things might be happening anytime. So, let's start with our recap. Last week on Night Witches, Toil and Trouble, Episode 3, Graduation, we start off with a pleasant, I think I wrote down, pleasant interview between Nick and Captain of State Security, Olga Barsukova, who wanted to know why she didn't do her job the way she should have, and also asked her to basically snitch, find out if she can find any lesbians in the unit. But very specifically, Olga Barsukova wanted her to finger Masha Rodina, the training officer. I know, I the minute I said it, I was like, I shouldn't have said it that way. The minute I did, I was like, point at Masha Rodina as a lesbian. And Nick got out of there as best she could. They did their final training mission, and it was rough, mostly because the 218th was buzzing them and made it very difficult for them to do their jobs. And in the process of this mission, Lena was not able to drop her bombs on the target, but you cannot land these planes with bombs attached because these bombs are live and armed, and if you land these sort of sad old planes with these bombs on them, they may just explode when you land. So you have to drop them off somewhere in an open field. And when they were trying to find a place to drop it, they avoided what looked like a village and they dropped it in a field. But after those bombs dropped, they noticed that there were Soviet troops in the area, and they don't know if they killed fellow Soviet troops or not, but it is something that has been haunting both Lena and Nick in this moment. And in the process of this, Irena was a bit concerned about the loyalty, perhaps, of her fellow airwomen. They're not certain. They had an amazing graduation where they got actual uniforms, and from that they move off to the new place where their new duty station, their first real duty station, which is Trudgornyaka. And we're in the middle of, this is summer, June of 1942. It's hot, it's sweaty, there are mosquitoes everywhere, and in this place they're living in like big dugouts. They had to dig themselves in this place. and they have been getting prepared for their first big mission here in Trudgornyaka. But before we start, as we start every episode, I would like to read a quote from one of the actual Night Witches who fought in the war. And this is from Lieutenant Polina Gelman, one of the few Jewish women who was awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union, which is one of the biggest awards you can get. And she writes here in this quote about her experience in the Battle of the Caucasus, so the place that our Night Witches are right now. She says, "In Mozdok, in the Caucasus, where we flew missions attacking the headquarters of the German staff, they had the most powerful searchlight we had yet encountered. If a searchlight caught our planes in its beam, we couldn't see anything. We were blinded. The pilot flew with her head very low in the cockpit because she could see nothing outside. And when we managed to get out of the beam, we were still blinded for a few moments. It was difficult to even maintain the aircraft in level flight because we only flew by visual references. The numerous searchlights caught us and held us in their beams as spider webs hold a fly. They followed us even after we crossed the front line, and the guns also followed us. When we returned to the main aerodrome and examined our aircraft, we found so many holes in it that it looked like a sieve." So, I want to ask some opening questions. To Tanya,
Yes.
your mother was a successful painter, perhaps a little radical, perhaps a little scandalous. I was wondering if you might describe one of your favorite paintings by your mother. What did it look like, and why do you love it so much?
Well, a lot of her paintings had to do with I wouldn't say statements of any type necessarily, but she was mostly doing paintings that dealt a lot with kind of life going on, the sometimes discrepancies in the different lifestyles that people are leading and things of this nature. But one of my favorites was actually one she painted that was of my father and myself in the house. We actually were having breakfast one morning when I was much younger, and she had done a sketch and ended up surprising us with this painting she had done of it. And it, because of what's happening with Leningrad right now and everything, it reminds you of everything before all of this happened, and just a moment.
Irina, you have 5 brothers and a sister. You're the youngest of 7. What are your brothers doing? Are they in the war? What are they up to?
Oh man. Well, they're all kind of doing different things. I would say probably 3 of them are part of the war. The is actually still going to school. Doctor. And the second youngest son, he is actually doing a lot of writing.
He's doing what?
A lot of writing.
Writing.
Which is not something my father approves.
Nick, you got this knife from your brother Mikhail. Where is your brother Mikhail right now?
He's still at home. He's helping out on the homestead, farming with the family.
How old is he?
Mikhail is actually a little bit older, although Nick lied about her age on her intake paperwork, but he's 22.
Lena, so you know the base that you're in right now in Trudgornyaka. It is muddy, it is miserable, it is sweaty and awful. You have some hills, you have thick forests, there's a town off to the side, there's mud everywhere. I did want to ask you, where is the one place on the base that is not covered in mud? a place where maybe you could have a private conversation with someone if you wanted. Where is that place? What is it?
In the hangar back behind where, so there's like all of the tools that are stacked up.
Mm-hmm.
But just behind the tools, there's a little bit of extra space before the wall. And that area is nice just to have like a little space for yourself, a little time for yourself when you need it. Because there's no one really knows about it unless they're a mechanic, and all the mechanics know that like you just sort of give that space if someone's in there.
Oh, interesting. Have you hung out there before?
No, I just know about it.
Mm.
I haven't. I feel like you need to get invited by one of the mechanics, and I just know that they hang out there. So I haven't gone myself, but I did peek. I peeked once. I just looked a little bit for like a really short period of time, and then I walked away really fast.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So,
I was just peeking.
Just peeking. Mm-hmm. Right now, it is getting on darkness, and our team is about to do their very first mission in Trudgornyaka. They have 2 mission pool. They are healthy, a little stressed, a little tired. Their planes are ready. And their squadron leader, Alexandra, sort of Sasha Kajieva, who is a lieutenant, and she's in charge of the entire squadron, which is made up of 3 sections. She meets up with Titania Petrova and makes sure that she has the briefing for that day. And Sasha Kajieva, Lieutenant Kajieva, is sort of medium build. She's got sort of messed up, kind of slightly messy, dark blonde hair. She's got green eyes. She's olive-skinned, quite tanned. And she is in charge of your squadron. She herself sort of mostly sits in Section A rather than Section C, where you are all at. She's sort of like a blend of serious and a bit rowdy, not too much. She likes things not to. She doesn't like a lot of trouble, but she's now in charge of you now that that you're out of training and you no longer have Masha Rodina looking out for you or after you, except for those of you who are still training with her. And Lieutenant Kajieva gives the mission brief for that day to Junior Lieutenant Petrova, who will then meet the rest of the squadron, our 4, plus Sarah Rabinovich, the poet, and Anastasia Sheremetova, the younger sister of the deputy Politruk, and also a bit of a dreamer, to let them know what they will be doing this evening. Take it away.
All right, ladies, I've received our assignment for the evening. And even though we have just arrived, we already have some serious things we need to take care of. So as some of you may have heard from some of the talk around, there are members of the Soviet Union Army that are backing away from a German harassment going on right now. And what they need from us is they need us to give them some support so that we can get our people out of there. So we are going to just be flying in, and it is going to be more, well, I'll be frank with you, it's going to be more dangerous than any of the other things that a lot of the other groups are going on right now. But they thought that we could handle it, and I believe that we can. So does anyone have any questions about our assignment for the night?
Anastasia keeps looking at Lena, just looks at her, trying to like figure her out. You don't know what that's about, but she steals some glances to Lena, sort of with trying to figure her out. Like she's trying to work out something. She's normally Anastasia is sort of daydreaming and not really paying attention to what's going on, but she has a bit of a something's on her mind, and it has to do with Lena.
I think when Lena like catches her doing that, she'll just like smile back, like typical like Lena. Like,
I guess Irina will step in and be like, what are our plane assignments? Who's flying with who?
Tonight the assignment is going to be, Irina, you are going to be flying 42. That, from what I understand, we've been calling Little Clipper. And your navigator is going to be Lena. And then on the number 13, Sarah, you're going to be piloting, and I am going to be your navigator.
Okay.
And then
Anastasia goes, that means I get to fly with Nick?
that it does. So you are going to be piloting the 84. Do you think that you're going to be up for it?
Yes. And she looks a little green and she says, but, and she looks at Nick and she says, Nick, I'm really excited about flying with you tonight.
I'm glad you're excited.
So Nick, you are going to be navigating. Does anyone have any questions before we get started?
You know, like leans back and is like satisfied with the assignments, at least for hers.
Lena looks super happy. She's a little Clipper.
Who's the lead? Who's the lead pilot? Who's the lead navigator?
So the lead pilot is going to be Irina. And the lead navigator, we are going to have as, remind me, it can be anything, right?
Yeah.
And Lena, you're going to be the lead navigator for this run. And then the wing woman is going to be myself.
Irina nods confidently back to you when you assign it to her.
And Nick. Because both of you two would be wing women.
Ah. Yes, of course, that's exactly what I meant. you all know what I mean.
And they're like, okay, let's go. And then Anastasia, as she's moving, she like tugs a little bit on Irina's tunic.
Irina like looks back at her questioningly.
And she says, I wanted to give you back your friendship bracelet that I made for you.
Irina doesn't even move her hand to grab it and kind of looks down at her and is like, do you really think that's helping anybody?
Yes. Also, and she leans in, I need to talk to you about something.
I pull her aside and say, what do you need to talk about? I still don't take the friendship bracelet. Tell me, Maggie would take the friendship bracelet. Irina is not going to take the friendship bracelet.
She waits for the rest of the section to sort of leave the dugout to sort of start heading towards a flight line before she says what she's going to say to Irina. I need your advice about something. It's really important.
Well?
So, you're the only one who hasn't gotten in trouble here, and I didn't want to tell Titania. She's my best friend, but she is the section leader, and I thought that maybe if I told her, she might have to do something about it, and I don't know if that's a good idea. And I didn't want to tell my sister. I didn't know my sister, and I thought I should maybe say something because it's on my mind, and I don't know if I can fly really well if I haven't said something to somebody about it. And I thought that maybe you'd be the best person to say something.
Okay, just what is it? She lets her go on for a while, and then she's just like, "You're clearly taking forever to get to the point."
What is it? So my sister, right?
Yes.
She really
who doesn't know who your sister is?
Oh, she's amazing, and she's so brave and everybody loves her.
Anastasia, back to the point. What is the thing that you need to tell me?
Right. So my sister says she talks a lot about lesbians and how they're dangerous and how we have to root them out and we have to always be on the lookout for them, you know? That's what she says. And do you remember yesterday when I gave everyone the friendship bracelets? And then Lena said that she'd never gotten a present before from anyone. Do you remember?
Yes, I was there.
Right. And did you see how she looked at me when she said it?
Like, she takes a moment to kind of like think back to that moment, and it's like, sure.
I think she's in love with me.
Right.
What am I supposed to do?
Look, I don't think she's in love with you.
She's definitely in love with me. She looks at me all the time.
Irina kind of gives her a look of confusion, and then she kind of looks like she's thinking back to all the moments that they've all like been around each other. Just like, has she been looking at her weird? I don't know.
So what do I do?
Well, has she made any advances on you other than taking your friendship bracelet that everyone else also took?
Well, right, but it was more meaningful for her.
But were there any other situations like that you can think of?
Well, we had food together in the mess tent the other day at the same table.
We've also sat at the same table.
Right, but I mean, I just feel like she... Okay, so here's the other thing. So, do you remember Alexei Popov, that dreamy sort of pilot guy?
Right.
And how I think...
You got him circled with a heart, I think, in one of your photos.
Yeah. Yes. But I think at first I thought that maybe she was jealous because, you know, maybe Alexei liked me, but I think actually she doesn't like him. I think she likes me.
So first you thought she was jealous that he liked you, and now you think that she likes you.
Yes. Should I tell my sister?
I don't think you have enough proof.
Okay.
But look, I'll keep my eye out too. Maybe there is something weird going on.
What would I do?
I definitely think there's something weird going on with this, well, our group.
Yeah.
From the first day I joined.
Yeah. Yeah, something's weird, right?
But I don't think it's that.
So, what do I do if she makes a move on me?
Well, you don't follow up with a move on your action. You back away and you tell her, you know, that's inappropriate.
Right. Okay. Wait, okay. All right.
Look, you can get in big trouble if any of that happens. Also, if what you're saying is true, that can put Lena in big trouble. So make sure that you're very certain that these allegations that you're putting towards her are actually true. Otherwise, well, you've seen what happens.
Yeah, it's just that she looks at me a lot, and I just kind of see how she looks at me, and, you know, she's really friendly and nice to me.
You're also looking at people a lot and very friendly.
Right. Okay.
Look, I don't know you that well, Anastasia, but people could misconstrue what you do for the same thing. So just be careful.
Oh. Do you think that she thinks I'm in love with her?
Bracelets.
She thinks I'm in love with her, doesn't she? That's what that was about.
I didn't say that. That's what Irina says.
Okay. I'll find some way to let her know that I'm not in love with her. That's what I should do?
Irina is getting frustrated and she's just like, you know what? Do whatever you think's best.
Thanks, Irina.
And kind of just starts walking away.
You're my best. You're one of my good friend. And then she heads towards the flight line, trailing behind Irina.
Irina's like shaking her head like, what conversation did I just have?
And meanwhile, back on the flight line, you have Mel and her mechanic armorers. There's she's got 4 mechanic armors for her privates, and she's there. And she's got 5 in her. And they're there sort of making sure the planes are together as the rest of the section sort of come out onto the field. And, she makes sure that all of the bombs are set and that everyone sort of gets onto their plane safely. And she sort of nods to each one. And she gives Nick a bit of a rib. And she's like, don't think I forgot about our air race.
Well, hopefully I survived this mission so that we can have one.
You will. You will. I've made sure the planes are ready for you.
Not worried about the planes.
You'll do fine. You're a good pilot.
Not piloting.
Okay, but you'll do it. You've been training all this extra time. You'll be fine. Anyway, nothing can happen to you because I need to beat you in poker again. Plus, you have to clean my dugout.
Well, maybe I should die.
No, I expect cleaning to happen. And she helps you into your plane. And she very carefully makes sure she says something to everybody, right, in the section, just so that there's nothing, just she wants to say something nice to everyone. Junior Lieutenant Petrova, have a good flight tonight. I know that you will protect our troops.
I'll do what I can, but it's all of us doing it together.
And she comes up to Lena and she goes, Comrade Sergeant Dozmanova?
Hi.
Let me help you in. I was just, and then she sort of leans in a little bit. She's like, after the mission, would you maybe meet me in the hangar?
Yeah.
I have something I wanted to share with you. Just.
I'll be there as soon as I get back.
Okay, have a good mission.
Thanks.
Okay. And they back away as your propellers are run. And then comes Irina, and scuttling after her, Anastasia, who always walks on her toes, who are making their way to the planes to get in before you all take off.
As I hop into my plane, I just kind of look back and I look at Lena and I'm like, Anastasia thinks that she's in love with you or that you're in love with her, something like that. And I just get in my seat and I get ready to go.
What?
I don't know.
Anastasia?
Helmet on.
She's putting everything on. She's like, okay, I hope you set her straight.
I don't know. Just be careful with that.
How do I mean, I'm not.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that would be wrong.
Are there like mirrors? Can I like see behind me?
You have to look behind you. Your planes are just so crappy. You don't even have them, but you just have to look back.
I don't see the look on Lena's face when she says that.
Yeah.
And it's way too loud for me, the context of that.
And with love in the air, you take off as the sun sets, flying out. And this is a desperate time in this moment. You can hear the artillery on either side as you're flying off. And you're sort of going off towards you have an auxiliary field. You have your main field there by Trud Gornyaka, but for each mission, you have a smaller field that is much closer to the enemy front lines where you're going to try to do your missions, and you go back and forth from the small airfield, this auxiliary field. And it's a chaotic and hectic time, and you're going off to try to protect these troops retreating from Rostov-on-Don. And Rostov-on-Don is the gate to the Caucasus. It's one of the most important strategic cities in the Caucasus region, and it has fallen. And the Nazis are overrunning it, and they're overtaking this, and the Russian army is in retreat. It is desperate times. It is terrible, and you're hoping that you can stop. The. At least you can maybe save enough troops. You can bomb effectively to cover the infantry so that they can escape. But it doesn't look good for you all. Now, this particular mission is a particularly dangerous mission, and in order to be successful, in addition to your navigation roll, everyone has to endure enemy fire. So let's first have our navigation roll. Our lead navigator, Lena, would you give us... I know you've been studying the maps. Would you give us your wayfind roll, which is skill? And you get a +1 because you are in Little Clipper.
Little Clipper.
Hmm?
Oh no.
Did you add your +1?
No, this is why I needed to roll my starting dice.
Did you add +1?
I gotta fail.
But that's a 6. You have 2 in the mission pool. You can take one mission pool.
Guys, I think or ladies, I should say, I think that we should use one out of the mission pool to bump this up to a partial success.
Yeah.
I think that's a sound idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that.
So you take 1 from the mission pool, and you turn it into a partial success.
Hey.
So
I think Lena was proacted when she was like charting the course. Like
No clue why.
she's trying to like what?
I said no idea why.
Yeah, I didn't just drop you.
She's had a couple. I mean, and she needs to make sure that she's freaking out about what to do about it. And that is really distracting. But then like halfway through her like planning and navigating, she's like, you've got to snap to it. You've got and you've got to get back because now you're invited to the hangar. So now you can actually see this space. This like you can not just peek in, but you can actually see it. And Mel's going to be there. And so you've got to buckle down. You've got to get this done.
that sounds like you're still distracted.
And she's a little distracted. I mean, it is a 7. We're not talking like a 10 or anything.
So you have to take one consequence, one negative consequence. Would you like your plane to suffer a minor mechanical failure? Your plane is damaged. Or you and your fellow airwoman are stressed and banged around and you split 2 harm amongst you.
What happens again if the plane is damaged? Is it harder for us to avoid enemy fire?
No, but you're going to have to roll a wheels down maneuver to land.
I think I'm good at that, actually.
That would be your pilot who has to...
okay.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah.
I'd probably be fine too.
Okay. We do a
Why don't we
wheels
leave the
down.
RNG then?
It can only go well.
Oh gosh.
So
yeah.
But
Let's
if
do
we
that.
crash, I can gain experience.
this is true.
And if I pull you out, I can too.
So you are maneuvering towards the city, Rostov on the Don. And as you're flying out there, you're maneuvering, and you have some very bad turbulence, and you hear some snapping from the wires, and that are holding the wings together, and you know because you know Lil Clipper, you know that she has snapped some wires, and you know that you're gonna have to be very careful with her for the rest of this moment because she's been injured. Your plane.
I think when we hear snap, Lena's like, Suka, 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 Suka. She just starts saying like bitch in Russian, just like, it's okay, Lil Clipper, it's okay. Like she starts talking to the plane as they're flying, trying to encourage it to keep going despite the obvious downfalls.
And Irina's keeping cool and it's just like, it's gonna be fine. I've had that happen a few times.
And as you all three, your section, starts flying out towards the Rostov on Don, you can see it. And you're following the lead of 42 closer and closer. And it's dark, right? It's all complete darkness. And you can see in the distance this city. And as you start moving closer and closer, you're like, okay, this is it. This is where we're going to do this. And then suddenly, like that, the searchlights brighten up the sky, and they are everywhere, and they are searching you like evil eyes searching through the darkness of night, trying to catch your small planes that can only go 60 miles an hour in their beams. And if they catch you, you'll die. Well, you may not die, but it won't be good. And one by one, those beams catch each of your planes, and you are blinded for a moment as these powerful searchlights make everything just white, and you can see nothing from that pitch blackness to the brightness of these spotlights in your eyes. It's like day and night, and you're disoriented, you're blinded, you don't know, and all of a sudden you can hear it. You can start hearing the anti-aircraft guns, and you're slow, and it is hard for you to maneuver out of them, but you need to get out of these searchlights, or else they will take you down. I need each one of the navigators in each one of these planes to roll to avoid enemy fire. And that is a luck roll. Who would like to go first?
I can do that, and then I get a plus, right?
Yes, you do. And you get a plus because you're in a plane with your very best friend, Anastasia.
You're welcome.
Hey, a success.
Nice.
So I want you to tell me how you maneuver your plane out of these searchlights
This
and
is
this
a
enemy
first
fire.
full success.
First full success. Now,
You need to
In the
remember this
past
moment.
2 episodes, I'm just gonna.
so now here's the thing. I want to sort of go back for a moment. Nick has been having a hard time, right? She has been trying to navigate. She's been trying to do this stuff. It's been really difficult, for various reasons. One, the 218th has been buzzing her around. She's been hounded by Olga Barsukova to be a snitch. She's got a lot going on, And here's this moment when the first time you are out there in the war for real. And one of the first things is that you get caught in these searchlights, and then there's enemy fire hitting all directions coming at you. Tell me how you get out of it.
I think the instinct to survive kicks in, and kicks in really hard. And despite the fact she does not care for Anastasia at all, she picks up the tube to talk to her, and starts hollering commands about which ways to navigate the plane to avoid enemy fire.
And Anastasia, she gives a little yelp, but she listens to you. And when you tell her to slip left, she slips left. When you tell her to slip right, she slips right. And after like 3 or 4 of these commands that you give her expertly, because you are paying attention, she's just focused on this plane and trying to get the plane under control. And you're looking everywhere else. And she's a little bit blind and she can't really tell what's happening. And you get her to slip right out of the beam of the searchlight. And you're out of that beam. Who's next?
I'll roll.
Okay. You should.
Oh,
No, Lena.
Mm-hmm. And you have one, and you added your +1, right?
I did.
You did. And you have 1 mission pool, but that will not help you. That will not bring you up to a 7. So, your plane, you're in this searchlight, and you're trying to give directions out so that you can sort of get out of this trap that you're in. And none of you can see anything at all. First up, I need you both to take a mark. Well, yeah, both. And by the way, we have 2 wing women, so I'm going to call out some stuff that's going to happen, and anytime somebody wants to swoop in to take it for them, they can do so. But first off, you 2 are both marked. Tell me which marks you would like to have.
This is pretty. I'm gonna make a friend or take a lover.
Make a friend, take a lover. I assume that's going to be future?
Yeah, it'll have to be.
If you have one. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's rough.
Hey, we don't know. We'll see. What about you, Irina?
Uh, hmm. What? I think this is an opportunity for her to grow.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to do with your advance?
Take a stance.
Yep,
I'm gonna do that.
do it.
I think this is gonna be a moment where she's had it in, like that same snap happened with us in the past. Not this plane, different plane. This is her opportunity to kind of like learn from experience and try to flip the issue anyway. But
if you
I'm
want,
sure we take some hits in the process.
if you want some thoughts about where to put that stat bonus, you're going to have to make a wheels down maneuver, which is a plus skill. I don't know what your skill is like. Maybe you want to add to skill. I don't know. You can think about it. Because
Okay.
I'm going to make you roll real fast. As your plane. Also, I need you all to split some harm amongst yourselves. Now, you two, none of you are harmed at all, but you need to split 5 harm as your plane gets riddled with bullets. And as the bullets hit your plane, there's a tracer. And you can hear the plane starts catching fire. So I need you to split 5 harm amongst yourselves. Now, we have 2 wing women, and at any moment, people can come in and take the consequences.
I do have a harm, but I'm willing to take another one.
It would be you and Anastasia that have to split that 5.
Oh, like it's not like we could do
Oh,
for us and some for another plane. It all has to go to the same plane.
Yes.
oh, right. Okay.
I haven't rolled yet. Not take that.
Fair.
I could take 3 harm.
Yeah, I was saying I could take 2.
Okay. So you feel hot liquid as your plane starts struggling. I would recommend, by the way, Irina taking 3 and Lena taking 2, because Lena has regard for her plane, and if anything bad happens to that plane, she's going to get 1 more harm. Just
Okay.
Oh,
You can take 2.
thank you.
just noting it. And you can feel hot liquid on yourselves, and you don't know if it's your own blood or if it's oil from the plane, but you can't get out of this searchlight, and your plane starts plummeting. It starts falling out of the sky. And the rest of you see their plane. You see it. You see it falling, and not because they're slipping, but because something is wrong. We'll come back to you as you fall out of vision. And we need Titania to make a luck roll as you try to get your plane out of the deadly search beam.
Okay.
Did you let me see, do you have any bonuses?
No.
No. All right. And that one will not help you.
Nope.
Okay.
Yay.
You're not.
Seriously, we have the worst luck.
We really did.
You and Sarah.
We're not going to break on these dice.
You and Sarah are marked.
Good in doing things. So
True.
maybe we need to get drunk and then drive our plane.
You and Sarah are marked.
Okay. I am going to. How many harm can NPCs take?
4.
4. Okay.
And then they die.
I was trying to decide whether or not I'm the death of
By the way, you don't actually have a choice in this matter. She's marked. She's taking 4 harm. You get 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and witness the death of a comrade.
Do it. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Oh, after I change my.
Mm-hmm. So, you two, your plane starts veering out of the lights, but not in a way that is good. We'll come back to you.
I imagine too, like whenever we start to see a little clipper taking a bunch of damage and going down, I would imagine that a lot of distraction.
Oh yes.
By that, and we're not able to completely get, because there's a lot, there's a couple beams, they're all kind of not really able to get totally out of it.
Nick, you see the 2 planes in your section go down. The bombing hasn't taken place. Do you want to push through and attack this target?
I do, especially after them just, hurting the other plane so badly and my fellow airwomen.
This is a guts roll.
Cool, that's my least good stat.
You get a +1.
Yeah. All right. Add my +1. Hey!
Oh,
Oh,
Yay!
So,
Is it happening?
I've never been so happy for a partial success.
so let's talk about some options. Because I'm going to just tell you, you have some thoughts to think about. This is a partial success, which is going to result in 2 negative consequences. Or you can take the very last mission pool and have only 1 negative consequence. But maybe the other planes might need that last mission pool for their wheels down maneuvers, which are coming up real soon.
Our luck is so bad. We'd probably want to, because if we have a fail that could just add 1 and make it not a fail, maybe that would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because our luck's so bad.
I mean, as much as I would like to have just a full success again, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Now, this does mean we have 1 person who's still up for Wingwoman, and that is Titania, which means that you can take one of these consequences if you want for your plane as you are going down. So, I want to know, Nick, I want to know what 2 negative consequences you would like for this roll.
I wouldn't say I would like them.
or which do you choose? The damage to the target is not significant, and it's your fault. You fly through a storm of flak, which triggers enemy fire. A plane in your section is damaged. I get to choose. You and your fellow airwoman are marked.
I would be happy to take one of those for you since we're already going down.
Well, if you want to take one of those, me and a fellow airwoman are marked. So can Anastasia also be?
Oh, she can be marked. She's gonna die at the time of my choosing.
Okay, well, sure, let's do that.
Now I just want to know. I just want to know, Titania, do you want to take that? Do you want to take that one from her, or do you want to take the other one?
Which is the other one?
Just to pick. You've got the choice between target is not significant, it's your fault. You fly through a storm of flak, which I don't recommend. A plane in the section is damaged, I choose. You and your other fellow airwomen are marked.
I feel like one of the other planes is damaged.
Okay.
I have a quick question before that decision is made.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I answered it. Never mind. Carry on.
So you are Wingwoman. You are the leader. You can take one of these negative consequences on your plane.
If we went, how much worse would it be since we're already going down? And the plane's already in a terrible state of affairs.
Your plane is in a terrible state of affairs. it's not great. The choice is basically
How much
either.
worse is it?
I suppose here's your choice. If they're marked, Anastasia's going to die as well as Sarah's going to die.
Right.
If you're marked, Sarah can't die twice, right? So she'll just get a second mark, but that won't.
I kind of want to take that one.
Yep.
Just so we
Okay.
don't lose everybody.
So you need another mark, Titania.
Yeah. I guess meanwhile, Nick can pick the other.
Oh, you should have kept a leader.
I know.
Should have kept leader.
I just looking now, I'm like, oh, if you had the leader role.
I know. It hadn't done anything for me yet, and I was like, oh, we're going to be interviewed. This would be great.
This is the moment for your leadership.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Uh,
Can't second guess.
all-
Have you taken
all
Advance and Grow yet?
options are bad. I think the thing that makes the most sense is that one of the planes you're choosing is damaged.
Yeah.
Makes the most, unfortunately.
So, get that.
Take more damage.
So I think what we get here is that Titania, you and Sarah are gonna be marked again. So you'll take another mark.
I'm curious. So, for sharing a premonition, how far in the future does said premonition need to be?
Doesn't have to be too far in the future.
Like, if we're gonna do a wheels down check, and I'm like, that's not gonna happen. Is that a premonition?
Make it dramatic, yes. And
Oh, I can make it dramatic.
tell me.
As we are trying to escape from the searchlights, and we kind of get out of one, but we hit another. We're watching another plane going down.
And tell me how you save Nick and Anastasia.
So we see they managed to get out of the searchlight, and as you know, they're moving around, and I see that one's starting to go over there. Like I can't really see that well, but I can tell that it's going in that direction. So not really thinking about it, I direct, since I'm navigating, I direct Sarah to go and block them so that the searchlight will be on us instead. And as we hit another searchlight, like it kind of, rattles the brain a little bit, like blinds the eyes. And then I have this sudden like vision of just a lot of sound, a lot of metal rattling, and like this piece of the plane is just like peeling off. And I have this sense of just like fire, and I hear Sarah screaming, and I'm trying and it's really hot, and I'm trying to get to her, but she can't get her thing undone. And as we're trying to land, it just, the pieces are falling off the plane, and it completely just like tips, the wing scrapes against the ground, and then she there's not a lot of cover. And then in this premonition, I see like one of her limbs just like getting like crushed off, like as the plane flips over, and I'm trying to reach her, but I can't because I'm still strapped in. And then I kind of, my eyes start adjusting, and I kind of come back to again.
And as your eyes come back in from this premonition, as your plane is tumbling, you see. Nick, describe how you save the Russian troops, how you were able to make it so that they are able to escape the Nazi advance. Tell me how you save hundreds and hundreds of lives.
So we're Nick still very much in that focused, very zeroed in mode of almost outside of her own body and distance at this moment, and she's still ordering commands at Anastasia, and they managed to sweep under where just kind of swoop along and drop bombs along a line and just kind of make this sort of U-dip, underneath the searchlights. They drop their bombs and slip back up into the night air again.
And as you slip out, you can't see your fellow airwomen. You don't know where they are. Maybe you're looking for them, but you can't see them in this chaotic moment. Let's go back to Lena and Irina. You all need to make... I have a whole move for this, my friend. I need you all to make... our pilot, can you make a skill roll? And you get a +1 because you're in there with Lena.
All right. I did indeed take the +1 to skill. I thought about adding another to guts, but you deterred me. It's probably smart.
That's a +2?
And
Hey!
success.
Okay. I want you to talk to me about this moment, right? You have been shot up. You both are injured. You more so than Lena. You are not in a good space. You can feel blood streaming down your face. You can hear the sounds of chaos all around you. You can see at this moment Nick and Anastasia bombing the advancing German troops. And you can see the Russian army in retreat, but safely. But your plane, Little Clipper, is hurting. It is plummeting. Tell me how you get the plane down. Without explosions. Like damaged, but...
Yeah, I arm and something like hits and I get pushed back into my chair and I'm hopefully get this weak and just tries to glide down and try to land it. Go slow.
And it is, Lena, perhaps one of the most beautiful things you've seen. It reminds you of that moment when you brought the plane down. Your plane, the wings are shuddering. Pieces of the plane are rattling, and you're worried that this thing won't even hold together. And by all rights, the plane shouldn't hold together. You should probably both be dead. But Irina becomes one with this plane at this moment. And you land this plane right in the middle of this sort of chaos in one piece. And you are both on the ground in the middle of a battlefield, safe. Well, alive. Alive. Now, Titania and Sarah are in this plane. You have been heroic. You did what you could to save the lives of Nick and Anastasia and make it so that they can actually fulfill this mission. And so I need you. So here's the thing. Sarah is your pilot, right? She should make this wheels down maneuver. And you notice that she's not moving up in front of you. And you can see that she's not maneuvering the plane. That's what she needs to do, and she's not moving at all. What do?
I am yelling into the thing, calling her name, yelling at her, and then trying to reach up there and shake her and move her. And I, she's not responding. So I'm trying to figure out how to take the situation since she, I'm responding as I'm yelling, and then as I kind of reach up and try and she kind of tilts over, and something is clearly wrong. So I try go over that roll.
And as you shake her and her head just lolls in this way that is unnatural, you know that you are going to have to land this plane, this shuddering and damaged plane. And I'm going to need a skill roll from you.
I don't have any other things on skill. All right. Partial success.
Yay!
I have a question.
We have an answer potentially.
Would you like to make this a full success with your last point of mission pool?
Do it.
I was going to say, if my comrades see fit to giving me that point, I will take it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could not. That's up to you.
I would have to take 2 versus 1 consequences. Or what's the deal for wheels down?
If it's a 10, no consequences.
No consequences.
No consequences. If it's a 9, 1. 2 actually.
2.
Yeah.
The same as usual.
Oh, plane is a fiery wreck. Split 3 more harm.
Oh no.
Yeah. You're in immediate danger. Also, everybody, the lack of skill, courage, or care with the people's machinery is noted.
Oh no.
No, just take.
Yeah, I think I'll just take the mission pool. That I don't like the sound of any of that.
Yeah, we got it. Let's use it.
Yeah, we'll get more. It's fine.
Yeah, we will.
Hopefully.
I mean, assuming we have to make it out of here first.
You do have to make it out of there.
It's fine.
So you shake Sarah. Sarah Rabinovich, poet, fellow comrade from Leningrad. You remember that you both would be in the Wet Dog Cafe where the Bohemians would meet. You remember the poem she read. And when you shake her, you just see blood on your hand. And you know that she's not with you anymore, and that you'll have to land this plane. And as you move, and as the ground is quickly and rapidly approaching, you grab hold of your yoke and tell me how you land this broken plane in the middle of a battlefield.
So, as the ground is approaching, I can see, I shake her and I see the blood in my hand, but I'm not, there's a lot happening. I'm not really, it's not really completely real. I just know that I need to take over. So as it starts going down, I'm remembering this premonition I had, and so I'm trying to compensate for like the piece that's coming off of the plane.
Yes.
So that I can, try and avoid that outcome. It's really shaky, and it kind of, as we come down, it tilts really hard and banks, but I make some adjustments and we're able to thud really hard onto the ground. And then after the actual landing, I undo my buckle, and then I'm trying to like jump into the front to like get Sarah out of there. And because she could still, maybe she's just really injured. Like we don't know at this point, and she could still be alive. She's the only person I know from Leningrad, and it's really, really important to me to get her out of there.
And you pull and you tug, and like in your premonition, it's hard to get the belt off. But you do, and you pull her out of this plane. You pull her out, and you sort of collapse onto the ground, and your plane is not moving anytime soon. And there's blood everywhere. And maybe she'll be okay, maybe. But
I have to get her out of there. Just, we're still in danger. I just have to get her out of there.
And this is when all of you on the ground start hearing shouts, and you hear cries. Wir haben sie gesehen! Die Nachthexen! You hear the sounds of German soldiers. You're not quite sure how far away, but they saw your planes land too. Well, they saw your planes crash. And they're after you. They're on their way. I need a guts roll from every single one of you on the ground. And before you roll, I'm going to ask Nick. Your comrades have crashed into the night. Do you want to leave or do you want to stay?
I think I need to stay. I need to know that they are still alive.
Okay. So I want them to roll, and then we'll come back to you as you search for them. And as you may want to eyeball this one to see if you can sort of figure out what's going on in this situation, which
Sure.
is a skill roll.
Okay.
Do I get a +1 because I'm with Lena?
Yes, you do.
Do I get a +1 because I'm in the Clipper? Getting out of the Clipper?
You have to tell me how that is relevant.
Well, I mean, it takes a lot of guts to abandon a plane that is so near and dear to me. Like that requires just a lot of effort.
What actually happens too is when we land, I get up and I turn back to look to Lena and I'm like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. Yeah, you?
I'm gonna be fine. And I'm
You don't
like,
look good.
she's bleeding. She's not fine. She's like, she kind of grabs your hand and she's like, "We got to get out of here. We have to leave."
Okay. Little Clipper. She's gonna kiss the little decoration that's on its tail, as they're starting to try and go.
I think Arena's like, "We don't have time for that. Come on." And I'm my arms just I'm ripping off part of my shirt, trying to wrap it around.
That's your 12, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my 12.
Nice.
Nope.
This makes perfect sense. She's trying to get the plane. I'm like, "No, we gotta go."
No, little Clipper.
I'm gonna come back to that fail, and Nick, this might be you. I need Titania. I need you to roll me some guts. I have a question.
Oh God.
I have a question for you.
I might have an answer.
You have regard for Lena.
I do.
You're both out there on the ground. Can you tell me how your regard for Lena might aid you in this moment?
Well,
because if it doesn't, then that's cool. But if it does, that takes you to a partial.
I think it very well could.
Tell me about this, leader.
As a matter of fact, when we managed to, we both got hit pretty synchronously, so we managed to go down. There's only so many open fields in this area, so we managed to both go down a similar area, and I see that they, I'm busy with Sarah and stuff, but and I'm picking her up, and then I look over and I see the Clipper over there, and I see it looks like Arena is trying to pull on Lena. I can't really tell what Lena is doing. She seems to be hanging out by the plane for some reason, but you can hear the yells and stuff.
Yeah.
So then I see. Wait, no. Even better yet.
Tell me.
I am strike that. I'm working with Sarah, trying. She's dead weight.
But but remember, if you don't recover the bodies, she'll be listed as a potential traitor.
Well, and I don't know that she's dead. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. There's a lot going on. I don't know. So I'm grabbing her and I kind of manage to get her on, Titania's a pretty petite woman, but she gets her up there. And as she's trying to manage all of this, she hears what sounds like a familiar voice yelling something about the Clipper. And because it's still dark, the eyes are still dilated and all this. And so then Titania hears it from over there, and then kind of turns and starts going in that direction because she hears a familiar voice yelling about the Clipper.
That makes sense.
And moving out that way is going to get you out of a space of evasion, and that's going to give you that +1, which gives you the partial success.
Hey.
Now, Nick.
It's a partial though, so.
It is a partial.
I will take partial success to a fail.
Nick?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to eyeball the
I
situation?
do. I do.
That's skill.
Skill. And I'm with Anastasia, so I get a plus.
You do.
You're welcome.
As she's trying to point out. Okay. You're going to be able to ask.
I got a partial success.
You do. You can ask one question about this situation.
One question.
And I'm going to tell you what you see. You're searching for them, right? Because you need to see if they're dead or not, if they're alive, if they're dead. And as you're trying to navigate Anastasia into this space, and she's a little nervous, right? And you can hear her say, like, they have to be okay. And as you maneuver them, you give her directions. You come across, you're coming out and you see a forest. And what you see is maybe a platoon of Nazi soldiers moving in a direction. And as you keep moving, you see that they're headed right towards your comrades. They are going to be caught, or at least some of them might, if you don't do something.
Okay. I guess my question is, do I feel reasonably confident that we can swoop the plane, basically buzz them and distract them long enough to let my comrades get away?
Would that be the question you would like to ask?
Yes.
Okay. You've thought about this. You have dropped, let's say, all of your bombs, because you had such a really successful bombing run. You don't have any more bombs, but you think that if you made just the right vector, you could probably not only distract them, but perhaps lead them off in the wrong direction if you made it look like you were following your comrades, but by misleading. And you might be just enough, but to do this, you need to tempt fate.
Okay.
Someone in chat's like, throw your knife at them as you drive by.
Brilliant.
I'm just like throwing everything down.
You are tempting fate, and that, my friend, is guts. But you get a +2. One because you're with Anastasia and you're in the plane with her, and one because of your good eyeball.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Son of a.
You buzz over these troops, and you try to maneuver them so that they will be misled. Titania and Irina, I imagine, Titania, you probably have Sarah maybe on a fireman's carry, and you're moving with her body, and Irina, you're trying to pull.
Can I just carry Lena? just grab her and just be like.
Okay, I'm going to need a tempt fate from you for that.
What?
Because I'm going to need a tempt fate from you for that, because here's the thing. She's not leaving the plane fast enough, and you need to go fast. If you don't go fast, you're all going to get caught.
Yeah.
I need a guts from you.
Okay.
And you get the +1.
You have all the guts.
+1 because I'm definitely dealing with Lena right now.
Yes. And you can hear them coming closer.
Oh my gosh, 13?
Yes.
Yes.
Your regard is such that you cannot possibly have anything happen to her.
I put her on my good arm. Like firemen carry her.
Irina, you are losing a lot of blood. There's something very wrong with you. You've been very injured in this. You probably have some shrapnel, like, in your body. It is.
Yeah, that roll is probably actually a 10. Like, I got -2 to it because.
No, I will say this: you're not in a good space, right? Like, this is bad. You are in a bad way. You could barely stay conscious, but if you don't get her out of this place, you'll be caught by the Nazis. And if there's one thing that you all do not want, is to be caught by the Nazis. You have on your person a pistol and an emergency kit, and that pistol might be for taking down some Nazis who get close, but also to take out yourself with the last bullet, because they say that they torture the night witches. And as you're trying to get her out there to convince her, and she's not leaving her beloved Clipper, you see Nick's plane buzzing over. And as it buzzes, you can see that she's trying to do something. And then you hear gunfire. And the German soldiers are clearly shooting at Nick's plane with their rifles. And you don't have enough time, so you just grab her. You just grab
Look,
Lena.
84 is distracting. Come here. Lena, you have to leave the plane. And I just throw her over my shoulder and I just start running. Like, I feel like the thing with Irina is she's running and she's like mentally not with her body right now. It's like, it's that moment where, you know, adrenaline kicks in and she's just like feet of strength going.
Mm-hmm. Nick, bullets are flying towards your plane. You're buzzing low. And they just open fire at you and Anastasia. And you think your friends are dead. You think that maybe you failed to save them because you can't see them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Anastasia, who's the pilot, she says, "We have to go. We have to leave. We can't stay any longer." And she pulls the plane away. And you leave. You leave the battle. You know that you saved the Red Army tonight. But your friends, you think they're dead. And you fly back to the base. And as you fly in, just one plane in your section. There's Mel, the mechanic armorers, all waiting for you to come back. And you land. The only one of your 3 planes to land. And Mel's there, and she rushes up, and she says, "Where's the Clipper? Where's everyone else? Where are they?" And Anastasia just breaks into tears.
They didn't make it. We couldn't find them. The planes went down and we looked and we tried, but they're gone.
And Mel punches the plane. And Anastasia cries and she says, "I think it was my fault. I couldn't buzz low enough.
We tried. We did everything we could. We tried, but there wasn't anything else we could have done."
And she helps you all out of the plane. And there comes Sasha Kajieva, your squadron leader, who rushes up. "We're going to need a debriefing. Come on."
Okay.
And she takes you and Anastasia off to one of the tents to find out what happened. What do you tell her?
They were ready for us. They had the spotlights. They caught us in the spotlights. They fired at us. 2 of the planes took damage. We were able to make our bombing run. But by the time we got out of range again after dropping the bombs, we couldn't find them.
Did you?
We looked. We looked, but we couldn't find them.
Do you know where they went down? Can you put it on the map?
I think so.
And Kajiva brings out the map of the area. She's mark it.
And to the best of her knowledge, Nick is going to mark down on the map where, she saw the planes go down. And I know there were advancing soldiers, but the planes went down and we couldn't find anyone. And somebody had to be able to come back and report what happened and what happened to them. And they deserved so much better.
Okay. You two, you're not 100%. You should rest as best as you can. We'll see what we can do. And as the night becomes morning, you're sent off to sleep. And as you sleep in the dugout, you hear Anastasia crying quietly in her bunk. And off in the hangar, in that private spot, Mel's just sitting there because she heard that Lena had died. And she thinks, Lena's not going to meet me here. And it's the next day. And Section C is not sent off on another mission after what happened. And there's no word of our 3 airwomen who are probably dead. And it's the next day. No word. And at food, at mess hall, the entire squadron comes together. And they have 4 plates on the tables. And on the plates, there's a shot of vodka and a piece of black bread on top of those shot glasses for the 4 women who died and whose bodies have not been recovered, which means they can never have any kind of medals or awards. They'll always live under a cloud of suspicion. And it is quiet that night. There's some, maybe Mel gets into like a bit of a fist fight with someone. And there's a deep, dark sadness over the regiment as these casualties have hit everyone very hard. Svetlana Sheremetova rushes to her sister and hugs her tightly, happy that she has not perished. But then, 4 nights later, at dawn, somebody says, "Hey, there's someone in the forest. Someone's approaching. It might be the Germans." And there's a panic on the base, as maybe Germans are going to come and somebody, or maybe German scouts. But it's not German scouts that arrive on the 4th day after that mission. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, our lost night witches will arrive back on base, and we'll find out what happened to them in the 4 days in between. All of my friends, please hydrate yourselves. Make sure you get something to drink. We have, I think, some donations to read, perhaps. Let me check. I think we have slow. I don't know. We will see. Streamlabs is not being happy for me at the moment. I think we're going to have to wait until we get back from break to read these donations, unless it will surprise me happily in this moment. We got it. So, let me read the donations before we go. William TW donated $15 and says, "It is awesome to see you all." And RNJesus, we have some discussions to have, you and I, although you came through in the end. RNJesus donates $5 and says, "Dang it, I looked away for like a second. I'm sorry. There's only so much I can do. Roll 20 dice are in the realm of Failzabub, and I can only influence so much. Ancient pacts and deals and such, you get it. I'll add what spin I can, but be safe. And Paladin Hulk donates $5.69 and says, y'all are doing a phenomenal job. The tension, the emotion, wow. My goodness. So, we have to go on break. When we come back, we will find out what happened to our 4 airwomen in those missing days. Take care of yourselves and break. Drink some water. Be kind. We will be back in like about 10 minutes. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the second half of Night Witches Episode 4, Toil and Trouble. Night Witches Toil and Trouble, Episode 4, title to be determined. Probably something drastic. I think we're all back
That
in.
being the actual title. Something
Brink
drastic.
of death.
Brink of death. I told y'all, this game can be very deadly. So,
Yeah. It's pretty intense right now.
it has been 4 days. People have mourned the losses of their comrades. And people are dealing with sorrow and sadness as they might. But in these 4 days, our other members of the section are not dead at all. And then on the morning of the 4th day, they are spotted. They're spotted, covered in blood, limping with gashes. It's a gruesome sight. And they're also carrying a body, a 4-day-old body with them, as they make their way into the muddy, hot, humid, miserable field that is their space near Trudgornyaka. And like a cow sort of sits forlornly in the background. And it's somebody from one of the other sections like, oh my gosh, it's them. And at this point, it becomes a bit of a rush as you're all sort of taken into into the medical tent, the field tent. And Sarah's body is sort of gone as you are all set and sort of being looked at by the doctors and sort of seen and poked and prodded and bandaged and for Irina especially, some minor surgeries happening for her. It's not looking great. Everyone is so devastated and injured. However, all of you succeeded in that mission. You all can advance. And I thought that I might ask you what advances you want now before we go further.
So what are our options? I mean,
You can advance your stats. You can open up a new regard slot. You can take a character move. You can get a medal. You can get promoted. Those are the things you can get promoted. You can take a medal. You can advance your stats. You can open up a regard slot. You can take a character move.
I will take a stat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm taking stat as well. I'm going to up my guts so it's a 0 instead of a -1.
Mm-hmm.
That seems sound.
Mhm.
What happens if you increase in rank?
You will be promoted to lieutenant rather than junior lieutenant,
Do I
which
get anything for that?
you don't get any special excitement except that you have more rank now, which has impact in your life in the world.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna increase a stat.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in chat's like, please increase your stats.
A lot.
Increase the stats. Hey,
It's hard though because sometimes the moves are really cool. You like, for
Yeah.
instance, some moves allow you to use your instead of like the other stat, that kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
Because like I'm not a good talker person, but I have androgynous, which allows me to like use my guts instead, which I just basically threaten people. I threaten them into agreeing.
Oh, I think I'm gonna raise my guts by we just get one. We can drop one into the pool, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna raise my guts and stop being a -1.
I'm gonna raise my skill and stop being a -1.
Hey, that is fair.
Sorry, that wasn't what I meant to do. Never mind that roll. That wasn't a real roll.
My -1 luck.
Now, if I recall correctly, in terms of advancing for the end of the duty station, I believe Irina will advance at the end of the duty station because you walked away from a crashed plane.
Does that count? Because our plane wasn't crashed.
Oh, you had to crash land that plane. Is it what is the exact wording of that?
Oh, okay. So it's still technically a wrecked plane.
Yes.
Because we couldn't fly it back, so that makes sense. That
Yes. It's not a fiery wreck, but your plane is wrecked. It's got to be brought back. So you're going to advance. When your premonition comes true, when you give me a good premonition, then that will...
She's dead. I don't know.
So do I get that now, or do I wait till
at the end? At the end of the duty station.
Okay. Cool.
You have until then. So it has been... People are overjoyed to see you. They come for the field tent. And at this point in time, I'm going to ask you, and, you know, in these 4 days, Anastasia has been talking to her sister a lot. There's been, like, you know, a general sort of worry. But of course, despite all that's been happening to you all, the missions keep going. And those missions keep happening, and they keep happening. So this is the moment when you can all do some reaching out, some revelation of difficulties.
I think that while we're sitting on the beds, Lena's gonna reach out by just like saying like thanks to Irina, because actually, so I put a point in guts, but I actually think that she would have like a admiration for Irina in the Force That Bravery instead. So I'm gonna swap that up
for a new regard slot.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up another regard slot.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Keep getting put in the same plane together.
Luckily, your junior lieutenant knows all these stats.
Hey.
Work.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
So she's just gonna say like, hey, thanks. It's one time when we were plowing the fields, my brother got caught underneath the plow and I froze and I didn't really know what to do to like get him out in time. And it ran right over his foot, and I was just scared, but you weren't scared at all. Like, you just saved me.
I wasn't really thinking, just kind of happened. If you're in that kind of situation, always turn it off first. I grew up on a farm too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I hope I can be as brave as you next time.
It's not about bravery. It's about surviving. I don't want to die.
Yeah, me either. There's stuff back here that anyway.
It's okay, I understand. I got people I care about too.
I need that roll from you, Lena. That reach out 2d6.
Do I get a +1 because of my regard slot?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Excellent.
Oh, regard.
Oh, we can never reach out to each other. I don't think anyone has ever been successful.
It will happen.
We do
So-
not at all.
You have this moment with each other, and it's poignant, but your injuries are too heavy, you know? And the weight of this situation and what happened to you all and what happened while you were away is still heavy. And so while you do open up to each other, it can't really lift your spirits in this moment as you're sitting there in the tent. You understand each other better.
I think that Irina probably is actually, she kind of looks like she's looking You know when you like kind of are staring off in the
Yeah.
distance and like, but you're not like actually staring at something. She kind of has that lost look on her face, like she's thinking about something, and what she's really thinking about is like her family, and
Mm,
she's wondering if her other brothers who are also out there are still alive.
mm. You want to say anything about that?
I don't think she says anything. She's not like the kind to talk about it unless someone asks, I guess.
Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think Elena would be like, "Are you all right?"
Irina turns and looks at her after like staring off in space and is like, no, I'm not.
I'm sorry. Can I?
My arm,
Well, yeah.
I hope it worked.
Worked for what?
Whatever they did, I hope it fixes it. I can't imagine not doing what I'm doing. I don't want to be sent home. Or worse.
You're too brave to be sent home.
Like I said, I don't think that's what's going to keep us here. I've seen people get killed for worse. Well, you know.
You've seen people get killed?
Yeah.
That's awful. I'm sorry. I mean, other than what we saw these last few days and what my brother told me, I didn't know it could be this bad.
I'm lucky they even took me. I mean,
why? You're a brilliant pilot.
I'm Swedish. Elena's just like, right.
This is a reach out.
For me?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You're +1 though.
All right, here we go. And this is what skill?
This is a 2d6.
Oh, just 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
All
You
right.
guys are reach out buddies.
Reach out, buddies.
Out!
Just touching each other. And can't connect.
Oh no!
You're gonna be hanging out in the medical tent with each other for a bit, I think. Nick, what are you doing?
This dice.
I actually come to the tent to come check on Tatiana and see how she's doing.
She doesn't look great.
Tatiana's very quiet. She hasn't really said anything.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
I'm fine.
Look, I know a lie when I hear one.
I'm not dead.
That's true. We tried to come back. We looked for you and we couldn't find anyone.
It's not your fault. You're not in charge of us. It's my job to make sure that that this doesn't happen.
It's war. How could it not?
Nick, it's my job to make sure that this doesn't happen. Like, she was on my plane. She was under me. I was navigating her. Like,
and they shot at us. It's war. It's gonna happen. You can't save everyone. We're not all gonna come back. But
save everyone. I'm just trying to save us.
I'm glad you came back.
Thank you. I'm glad you guys made it. I hear that you overheard the nurses talking that you did it. You guys did it.
Yeah, can you believe it? With Anastasia flying?
You gave her a hard time. We all did, but she might just surprise you.
She definitely did. It doesn't mean I have to like her, but
Well, I've
I
always
just so bad we didn't see you, and we looked, and
hey, we're back now though.
yeah.
You did what the rest of us couldn't, so.
We're all doing our best. That's all we can do.
Yeah, I suppose.
This feels like a reach out to me.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out.
You want me to roll? Or?
I feel like that's a Nick reach out. Well, I feel like you're both reaching out to each other in this moment.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Yeah. Both give it to me. One at a time.
All right. You go first.
All right. Hey!
Nice.
Whoa!
You know what?
Yay!
This just proved like Nick is the MVP for today's episode.
Yep.
Completing the mission. Reaching out.
Nick is getting her revenge on RNGesus. You may choose 2 of 3.
Okay.
Remove 1 harm from each of you and your friend, add 1 to the mission pool, or change the target and tone of a currently filled regard slot.
Definitely gonna heal harm, even though it doesn't really help me at this point. It helps her.
Yep.
And then what was the second one? Sorry.
Change the target and tone of a regard slot. So you could change the slot you have right now for Anastasia to be towards Titania.
Instead of hate, it could be tolerate.
Or you can add 1 to the mission pool.
You know, I'm gonna add to the mission pool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
By hating her, you still get an extra bonus. So.
It's true.
Yeah.
And not
Why
hate, it's
change if it's not broken?
disgust. And can I get that reach out from you, Titania?
Poor Anastasia.
That's just a 2D.
Yeah, just 2d6. Hmm? What would you like to do? You can heal harm, change the tone of one of your regard slots, or add 1 to the mission pool.
How harmed am I?
Just 1?
Just 1? Oh, well, let's add to the mission pool. I've been carrying on a harm since the dawn of this game, so I might as well.
It is true.
That's the way of going on.
So, as you are all sort of in the hospital a bit, a couple of things happen. You're there. There's a mission that goes on. Choose which mission you are not going on because you're all benched for the evening.
I am gonna go ahead and have us not do. Oh, let's have us not do D.
Excellent.
Which would have us expecting railcar mounted anti-aircraft guns and searchlights.
Oh,
Good.
Let's avoid that.
yeah.
And
Boy.
this will actually will have everybody be completely healed except for Arena, who's still quite injured. You're still hanging out at 3 until you can get some more reach outs for the moment.
Okay, so I don't heal at all.
No, you need to, like, if you're at 3, you don't heal unless you hold out the entire duty station or people reach out, and then you can actually get down that threshold. You're
Right.
You're super injured. You were
Oh, yeah.
very heroic and damaged.
I should not be on any missions because if I do something, I'm going to die probably.
Yes. So, at one point in time, Mel shows up at the dugout and says, Lena, I was wondering if could I talk to you in the hangar?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sure. Look, I'm really sorry that little Clipper went down. It just happened so fast.
We're going to find her. We're going to find her. So, come with me. Come on.
Lena's just gonna like follow. She's been pretty quiet since they've gotten back. Sans like the couple of conversations that have happened. She's been pretty quiet.
And Mel takes you to the back of the hangar, to that little private spot behind sort of racks of tools. And in there, there's a small blanket laid out to cover the mud, because it's kind of, to cover it up there. She says, have a seat.
Oh, thanks. That's a good idea with the blanket.
And I'm sorry, I was really worried, and I'm glad you're back.
I was worried too. I thought that I wasn't going to get back. I thought that I wasn't going to see you.
But you're back, and I talked to Sergeant Yu, who has connections, and so... Okay. And then she goes into like a box that's off to the side, and she opens it up, and she pulls out an orange. And she says, so I thought that maybe you'd like this. And she
Where
hands
did
you
you
this orange.
get this?
Sergeant Yu.
She's gonna like take the orange and just like smell it for a minute, a really long minute. And then she's just gonna be like, will you share it with me?
Yeah. And she starts to peel it, even though it's in your hands.
And Lena's just gonna like hold it and like rotate it as she's like peeling it.
When it's all unpeeled, she still has her hands on your hands. And she takes them off. She says, I've only been in love once. Didn't turn out so well. But I was really worried when you didn't come back.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you, Trooper. Could you say that again?
She says, I was only in love once, and it didn't turn out well, and my heart was broken, and I didn't think I'd ever feel that way again. But when you didn't come back, I knew I'm glad you're back.
I haven't ever been in love before. When we were hiding in the barn and there was nothing but cows around and nothing else, but I just thought about you.
And she leans in to kiss you.
And Lena's gonna kiss her back. She's not gonna let go of the orange though. It's an orange.
And then Mel will feed you an orange.
And Lena will like scooch over until they're like touching side by side, as they're just sort of like giving each other pieces of the orange. And she's not really gonna say a whole lot, but when the orange is done, she's just gonna like rest her head on Mel's shoulder.
And Mel will just wrap you in her arms and just be there in this moment for as long as possible. And you can hear anti-aircraft and artillery in the back and the hum and sounds of the base. Somebody laughing in the background, just all the sounds that you have. And she just holds you and kisses your forehead.
I think Lena will like wrap her arms around Mel and like keep her head just sort of still on her shoulder. And she'll stay there as long as like she possibly can until she knows that she'll be missed.
And then eventually you'll have to part and do all the things that you have to do. And she just, before you have to go, she just holds your hand just a little bit. And then she kisses each of your fingertips before you leave. She says, "We'll get little Clipper back."
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well.
I'm really glad
Me too.
I'm really glad you're a mechanic. Because then you're safe.
It's hard when you go up every night and I have to worry about if you're coming back.
Well, I came back once.
Come back again. Every night.
Lena is gonna just like take her face in her hands and kiss her.
And she just crushes you in a big hug as she kisses you back. And she cries a little. And then just like...
Lena's gonna like wipe the other tear away and be like, and she's not really gonna have any words.
And Mel waves as you go back. Maybe you're feeling good. I don't know how you're feeling as you are with the rest of the crew, thinking about what kind of missions you might be doing. Now, there's a moment where each, it's a bit of a funny thing. There's been a lot of rumors and worry and gossip. And as you're all out there, you see a truck. And this truck is not like the one that you normally see on base. It's not one from one of your units. It's you're used to trucks, right? You've got your regular, these are Ziz 5s. They're these regular trucks with a flat bed, and you've got like usually you have a canvas overhead where people sort of sit in, and you sit in that truck and you look out the back. But this truck has a solid metal box behind it with no windows. And it seems a little ominous, and you don't know what it's doing there. And this is happening maybe a day or two after what happened with Mel, and maybe Mel and Lena see each other a couple of times when they can steal moments away. And Olga Barsukova says, "I want to see everyone in the 2nd Squadron for a discussion." And you're all gathered. There are 18 pilots and navigators. All the mechanics are there. Everybody who's in the 2nd Squad. Irena, you see Ivanova, the woman you punched out from your old section. She's there.
Nice.
Polina's there. Sarah's not. And Olga Barsukova's there, as is Anastasia's sister. Anastasia's sister, Svetlana Sheremetova. Now, I just want to share something with the audience for a moment, because the audience might want to know this. Guess what, audience? Over this last week, I sent private messages to the entire cast, and I asked them if, because Olga Barsukova likes to have private meetings with people, and I just asked them if they wanted to share anything in private with the Politruk. Now, maybe none of them emailed me back. Maybe they all did. Maybe some did. I don't know. I mean, I know. But I'll just note that I just sent out a message finding out if anybody wanted to tell Olga Barsukova anything in particular. And this day, with this ominous truck outside, Olga Barsukova brings in the section. And she says, and next to her, Svetlana Sharatova, she's looking a little disturbed, a little unsettled. She's not looking as smug. Normally, the Deputy Politruk is looking just generally like a smug toady, but she's looking a little unsettled at this moment. Captain Barsukova says, "Greetings, everyone. I have very serious news to share with you all today. And this is a matter of the squadron, Squadron 2. So, the other day, I happened to overhear a snippet of a conversation between my Deputy Politruk and an airwoman who I don't know. I only caught one word, and that word was lesbian. Deputy Politruk Sheremetova, perhaps you would explain what that conversation was about?" And Svetlana says, "Well, someone came to me anonymously and told me that there was a lesbian in Squadron 2. And Olga says, "Ah, so someone in this unit is a lavender woman, and who should not be here. I cannot have any lesbians in my unit. They're bad for morale. They're dangerous. Now, Comrade Deputy Politruk Sheremetova, will you tell me who it was who was in this meeting with you, who told you about this?" And the Deputy Politruk says, "I don't think sharing who that was would be necessary. It's just that she just said that there was someone. There was someone in the unit." "Ah, I see. Well, someone, whoever this might be, will come forward. The person who is not fit to be here, who might need to take some time away, should come forward, or it will go poorly on all of you. So please, whoever it is, whoever it is, I expect you to be forthright."
Are we sitting down for this?
You are.
I think Titania would stand up and ask with all manner of respect, "Ma'am, where is the proof of any of this?"
Well, it was admitted, apparently. And I know that someone here, maybe more, is improper. And I will find out who it is. One of you will step forward. Does anyone want to step forward now?
Like leaned back in her chair and she's looking over at Anastasia.
And Anastasia she's sweating and she looks nervous. Something is going on with her at this moment. And she looks like she's about to cry.
Lena is just like the smallest possible person she can be in this moment. And she is like, she looks like she's trying to hide.
And Mel tries to catch her eye.
And she's just like, eyes focused on the floor in front of her, just like trying to be invisible, looking a little guilty.
I think Titania's still going to try and... Man, if someone had admitted to such a thing, would it not make sense for them to say something now if they had already put themselves out there? There doesn't seem to be any other proof, and clearly everyone here, we've been very busy. We've done everything for Mother Russia, and I don't think that it makes sense to do this without any proof other than what someone overheard someone saying.
Your mother was the painter, yes? Comrade?
Yes.
Is she still alive?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to either of my parents in some time.
Leningrad, yes?
Yes.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I would say that you, out of all people, would understand how important it is to root out anyone who would undermine the efficacy of our unit. Well, I feel like you are acting up, my friend.
I may just be.
I feel like you are.
Let's see, where am I acting up?
I feel like you're probably acting up like a natural-born airwoman. Unless you feel like you're acting up like a hooligan. No.
No, I feel like it's the first one.
Yeah, which is roll metal, so it's a straight 2d6 for you.
All right.
Nice.
Yay.
Hey now.
Okay, so would you like to add one to the mission pool, get someone to do what you want, in this case, get her to back off, or to ensure that there are no consequences for your acting up?
I want to get her to back off.
She says, all right. You make a strong point. I will tell you what I will do, because I do care so very much for you all. I will let all of you leave here today. But I expect the person who it is to come to my office and admit it. To me, not to the Deputy Politruck. Or else. You're all dismissed. Go on.
Irina is going to make her way to Anastasia and kind of yank her to the side when I get a chance.
Oh, yeah. And Anastasia's like a wreck at the moment.
Titania's going to go straight to the bunks.
Lena's gonna go to the hangar.
So, Irina and Anastasia. Anastasia looks like a mess. Like maybe she might have a panic
Irina
attack.
kind of like pulls her, and then as soon as she doesn't see anyone else around, kind of like not shoves her hard, but shoves her kind of like up against the wall and is like, or whatever is around, probably some plywood, and is like, "What did you say?"
I just told my sister.
You don't know that that's true. Lena has almost died out there.
I told her that. I didn't know we were overheard.
What did you tell her?
I told her that maybe I was a lesbian.
What? This catches Irina by surprise completely. She thought that she was telling Lena, and now she's like, she like lets go of her and like kind of backs off a little bit and is like, wait, what?
I mean, I don't know. It's just that I don't know. I just couldn't help but think about what happened when everybody went down, and I don't know. The whole thing with Lena's made me think, and I was really sad to think that maybe Titania wouldn't come back again, and she's my best friend, but then maybe, I don't know. And I don't know.
Look, Anastasia, just because you care about someone doesn't make you a lesbian, okay? You can care for Titania because you're friends. You know that, right?
Suppose. But I don't know, maybe I want to be like her, but she's so pretty. I don't know. I don't know. I just told my sister I wanted my sister's advice, and
What'd your sister say?
she said I shouldn't tell anyone about it.
Yeah, you should keep that to yourself. You know what they're gonna do to you if that's true.
I thought I just wanted my sister's advice. I don't know. Should I tell Captain Barsakova? No, right? I shouldn't. My sister said I shouldn't.
You shouldn't. Not if you want to stay alive. I don't even think your sister can save you from that one.
I want to reach out from you.
Okay. And this is
2d6?
just 2d6,
Mhm.
just straight flat.
Yep.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Would
10.
you like to? You can remove a harm from you and your fellow airwoman.
You should do that.
Change the target or tone of your currently filled regard slot and add one to the mission pool. You can pick two.
What was the first one?
Remove harm from yourself and Anastasia.
Your arm is hanging off by a thread.
Yeah.
Uh,
I should do that.
Don't do like me when my leg was hanging off.
Although to be fair, you did a lot of reaching out.
You
I
did.
did. No one wanted to hear it.
I even tried to reach out to you, and
Which will bring your arena down to 2 harm, which you can recover from.
Okay.
And you can do one more thing. You can change your regard to have something to do with Anastasia, or you can add one to the mission pool.
I want to add one to the mission pool
Do it.
because Maggie wants to do that, but I feel like this is a moment where can it be something like, I think Anastasia's naive?
Give me a feeling that's attached to that. So you feel she's naive. So what kind? Do you feel protective of her, or do you feel? Give me a good.
I guess like that's it, but it's not like protective in the sense of like I want to keep her safe, because
Mhm.
if she really is, I would report her
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
I need to look up. I don't want to be messed up in all this mess. But I think that she's just kind of like, she thinks she's something that she's not. Like that's what Irina's like thought
Mhm.
process is. Like she just thinks that she's kind of not the brightest crayon in the box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
So
Anastasia.
it is kind of like a protective.
So Anastasia
like, not-
says, "Okay, I won't say anything. Thank you." And she goes off glumly towards the barracks, the dugout.
Irina
Really.
walks away from her again, shaking her head like, what the heck kind of conversation did I just have? She thought she was going to have to yell at her for calling Lena out, but then it ended up being herself. She's like, what is this?
Yeah. She was outing herself. So this whole conversation with Olga Barsakova and... Mhm. So in the hangar, there's Mel and there's Lena. And they've sort of pulled themselves back into this private space. And Mel takes a breath. She says, "Lena, don't worry. I'm going to say it's me so that you'll be
No.
safe.
No, you can't.
I will. I'm going to do it."
No, don't. You can't. I mean, look, I'm going to take care of it, okay?
No.
Okay? No, a different way. Lena looks like she's lying.
Lena, look. I've already had trouble like this in the past.
That's why you can't, because you've had trouble like this in the past, because then they're just going to know. They're just going to know, and then you're just not going to come back. That's not how that works.
Look, they'll send me to a hospital for a while. I'll come back. I don't want anything to happen to you. I'm going to tell her tomorrow night. and then I can keep you safe.
No, they don't know who it is. They don't. Lena's gonna like grab her face and just be like you can't. You can't. It will be the second time. It's not just gonna be a hospital this time. It's not.
You're a pilot, and you're so beautiful, and you're funny. This is my fault anyway. So...
No. It's not.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I'm going to do it tomorrow.
Right.
You all don't need another mechanic around anyway.
You're not just a mechanic. Lena's gonna like throw her arms around her and just like hold her as tight as she possibly can.
And she'll start to cry, and she'll hug you back, and it's that hug that, like, she's like very broad shoulders, but it's a hug that feels like she's so vulnerable in this moment.
And Lena is like just sort of shaking and crying. And she'll just like stay there as long as she possibly can, until it's obvious gonna get missed.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, okay?
What?
I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna do it. I've gotta try to fix the planes tonight. But
You don't have to take care of me. I've taken care of myself.
But you shouldn't have to do it all the time. And look, she's not gonna stop. She's not gonna stop until she finds someone. I just would rather it not be you.
It can't be you.
Might as well be me, right?
You're the best mechanic. You're the smartest, most beautiful person that I have ever seen in my entire life. I can't lose you.
Lena, I'll be back. I'll be back. They'll just keep me for a couple months.
Well, you and I both know that's not true.
First offense isn't bad. It's been my second, but I don't want you to go through that. I don't want anyone else to go through that.
I don't want you to go through that.
Look, why don't we just stay here a little bit, and then tomorrow it'll be something else.
Just for another minute.
Okay. Come on. I've got some vodka. It's not very good.
Good. You know what happens to me with good vodka.
Okay. She pulls out this bottle of rot gut vodka, and she pours a shot for you in a tin cup and a shot for her. And she sort of snuggles up next to you inside the back of this hangar. And she says, I have to protect you.
I'm not gonna let you.
You can't stop me. And
It's gonna like rest her head on her shoulder again.
And you spend the night there in the hangar.
I would like to go talk to Anastasia's sister.
Ooh, all right. Mm-hmm.
Snap.
So, Mel and Lena spend the night in the hangar. And Irina goes to find Svetlana Sheremetova, who was so gleeful to try to catch a man in those barracks. Was thwarted. And she is sitting in her office when Irina comes in. And she looks
I
up.
knock on the door.
Come in.
Ma'am?
Sergeant, come in.
I
Are you
close the
here
door.
to give information that I can give to the polo truck?
Perhaps it's more of a personal thing.
Oh, of course. Please, have a seat.
I sit down.
And she sits down across from you. And you can tell that she has heavy business on her mind.
I think your sister might have said something that she shouldn't have. In some weird, naive thought process of her own.
I think that's
As
true.
she does.
I think that's true.
Normally.
Yeah. She's a bit of a dreamer.
Something like that.
I think
it might have had to do with the visit that we got earlier.
So, how can you help me out of this situation?
I was hoping you could help us out of this situation. Look, I'm a sergeant. I have no power in this hierarchy of any sort.
Here's the problem. The polo truck overheard that someone in this unit was a lesbian, and she asked me who it was, and I said I didn't know. And so it has to be someone, and it's not my sister.
So you lied.
My sister's not going to a gulag.
But if your sister doesn't go, then one of our other sisters goes.
Well, someone's guilty in the unit. Someone has to be. And there's a bit of a weird tone about her.
Someone has to be guilty. Sorry if I'm speaking out of line, ma'am, but there's no proof.
It doesn't matter in the end.
It does. That's someone's life. It matters. That's why we're all here. Every one of those women have put their life on the line for this country, just the same as your sister has. Some of them have died. We will never have Sarah back. That could be your sister. That could be any one of us. That could be me tomorrow. That's how we want to go out if we go out. Don't let someone be thrown in their bus because of something that your sister said stupidly.
If only it were that easy. People get killed all the time for things they didn't do. I will do my best to make sure that whoever steps forward is treated well, is only given treatment, not killed or...
You know what those treatments do. You know what they...
I know. But whoever it is, they'll come back. They'll come back to the unit. I'll make sure of it.
They won't be the same.
It can't be my sister. She's my baby sister. She's stupid. But she will not go down for this. I will take care of whoever steps forward, but someone has to. Someone has to step forward.
There's like a moment where they just kind of both stare at each other. And Irina says, ma'am, stands up and goes to the door, turns back around, is like, you and I both know, right? And she walks out the door.
I think right before the base starts to wake up, Lena is going to very carefully slip out of Mel's arms and kiss her on the forehead. And then she is going to walk across the base, shaking and sweating profusely, and she's going to knock on Olga's door.
And you hear from inside, "Come in."
And she's going to like just stop there for like the longest period of time before she can finally like get up the courage to reach out and turn the knob. And then she's going to walk in and she's just going to stand there like sweating, shaking mess.
And Olga Barsukova, captain of state security, gives you the warmest smile. And she says, "Oh, my dear child, do you have something you want to tell me?"
I'm the lavender one.
"Oh, my dear. Oh, my dear. Well, have a seat. Have a seat. Would you like some chai?" Hmm? "Of course you would." And she gestures, and one of her assistants brings in, and actually, it's not, it's Svetlana Shermetova, who walks in with his chai, looking white as a sheet, completely nervous. And Svetlana stands in the corner and doesn't leave, because she wants to hear what's going to happen. And Olga gives you the chai, and she says, "What you're saying is very, very serious. Tell me, is there anyone else in your squadron? Anyone else that I should know about?" "No. Are you sure?" "Masha Rudina, your training officer? Her? No one else?"
No. No. She's shaking so hard that the tea like sort of spills out of the sides of the mug.
"I'm glad you told me, because now you can." And Svetlana pipes up and says, Comrade Captain, I think this one is young. She can be rehabilitated. I think she should only be sent to hospital for treatment. That seems to be the best use of Mother Russell's resources. Don't you think?" Well, Comrade Shermetova. All right. Sergeant Dozmanova. There is a truck outside, and this truck will take you away from here, away from the front, for a while. And when you get back, I'm sure all improper thoughts will be washed away, and you'll be clean. Come with me. She takes your elbow, and she walks you out of her office, down the flight path, And it's just early enough that not everyone is awake yet. Many people haven't actually. Not many people to see you walk off. And she takes you into that truck with no windows, puts you in, locks the door behind you. And 2 guards of state security get in, and they drive the truck off as the night begins to fall. And as the truck goes, Mel wakes up and notices you're gone in a panic. And she rushes out, but you're already gone. And then Captain Olga Barsukova walks into the dugout for 2C, where everyone but Lena is there. And she says, "Excuse me, everyone. I hate to bother you all. I know you have a mission coming up very soon, but I just wanted to give some good news. Sergeant Volkova, I have some very good news for you. Congratulations, you're fully qualified. You don't have to do training anymore. Extra training. Thank you for all of your help." And she smiles sweetly at all of 2C. And she walks out, leaving you all alone there. Sarah Rabinovich's cot empty. Anastasia nervous and not certain what happened. And you hear...
Rena will look at Volkova and say, "Congrats. You earned it."
And with that, we will call our episode for the evening. Thank you, everyone. Oh my goodness. Let's take our ominous truck and put it over there for a moment. Let's take that out of screen. So, you'll have to forgive me. I'm a little tense about that one.
Yeah.
We have a few donations that I'm going to read as a bit of a palate cleanser before we wrap up with a roll call. So we have $5 from Dunya Rostova, who gives us a poem from Alexander Bloch from 1914. The poem is, "Those who were born in years of stagnation do not remember their way. We, children of Russia's fearful years, can forget nothing. Years that burnt everything to ashes. Do you bode madness or bring tidings of hope?" Alexander Bloch. Void Smoker donates $25 and says, "Care package from back home. Keep on fighting." Vera Pavlova fan donates $5 with a poem. "Alas, in fire and flame, amidst the illuminated, probing fingers of evil they dance. Alas, in fire and flame, hurled from the skies, smashed to the frozen earth. Alas, in fire and flame, the enemy comes, lit by the dying of the witchlights. Alas." And one more donation from Vera Pavlova fan, $5, who gives us this verse. "Alleluia, from fire, from flame, straining through muck and weeds and smoke. Alleluia, from fire, from flame, risen from their icy graves, reborn, transformed. Alleluia, from fire, from flame, sisters reunited, coven once more. Alleluia." Thank you all donators. I would like us to do our roll call, but I would like to start first with the person who will not be here next week, or the week after, or the week after that. Shell Game.
Hi, I'm Shell Game. I feel like my stomach is still doing weird things right now, so yay! And it's hard to focus. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram at Shell Game. On Instagram, I'm the Shell Game. If you're in the Seattle area, I improvise around town, primarily at Unexpected Productions, but also in other areas. Come check it out.
Thank you. And let's go with the woman who tried to get this to stop in her own way, Maggie.
Oh man, that was a really awesome episode. So thank you all for tuning in and supporting it. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all over the places. Pretty simple. And I do lots of other tabletop stuff. So if you're interested in more roleplay action, come check it out. And I also work for a game company. So if you're looking for some games, got you.
Let's go to the leader of our troop, Fox.
Hey everyone, I am Rocket Fox, and I am a gamer, performer, still reeling a little bit, illustrator, do lots of stuff. I also am the president of the board for a nonprofit called Superheroines, etc. Our mission is to empower women and those who identify as women to embrace their inner nerd. So you can find out more about us at superheroesetc.org. And you can find out anything about me on Rocket Fox, on the Twitter. I don't really use that as much. Instagram, Twitch, Facebook. Just come find me and I'll wave.
And last but not least, the MVP and hero of our session, who did this entire thing with a brutal migraine and still managed to bomb all the Nazis, Mac.
Hey guys, my head is completely broken from this episode and also just my general brain meats. But you can find me online as at Strange Like That. You can also find me playing RPGs over at Happy Jack's RPG podcast as well. And wow, roller coaster.
And I am Trooper SJP, your humble game moderator. You can find me at Trooper SJP on Twitch and Academic Foxhole on Twitter. And I want to thank all of you for being here. And before we go to credits, I just want to thank all of the queer men and women who have served in service over time, and those who have been able to withstand and survive and thrive and find love and friendship in difficult times. And this is to honor all of those people from all of those times and histories and spaces. So thank you for being here. And next week, episode 5, we will be finding out how our intrepid night witches survive with the loss of 2 of their own. And we will meet a brand new night witch who will be coming in, who is none other than our very own CEO of GeekSpaceTV, Anna Geeks, whose character you will really love. So thank you everyone for being here. Please take care of yourself, give yourself some love, hydrate, and thank you for being here with us. I'm going to go and have a bit of a time with our night witches, and I will see you later. Thank you very much, everyone. Fly right and take care of yourselves. Thank you very, very much.